Hey friends, I'm Leslie.
Hey guys, I'm Marianne.
And I'm Angie. Together, we are the therapists of Eden Therapy Co., and we are inviting you to have a seat at Eden's table.
Coming to you live from Miami, we believe in healing hearts, shining the light, and bridging the gap in mental health. Come sit with us as we learn, laugh, and explore how faith and mental health collide.
Hi, guys.
We're back.
We are so back. And today we're going to discuss a topic that I think you guys will really like because it's a different kind of relationship. What are we talking about?
Food.
Our relationship with food.
Yes.
So I thought we'd start with a little game. Okay, when you are sick, what's your go-to food?
Chicken noodle soup.
Croqueticas.
Oh, yeah. Chicken noodle soup with croquetas. And the little lemon.
That's
Y
crazy.
el pancito con mantequilla.
Oh, can't miss.
The croqueta is what throws me off of that because it's just
why?
like the heaviest possible thing you could eat.
At all.
At
I
all.
disagree.
And plus, like, when you're having chicken noodle soup, it's like water, basically.
And chicken and noodles.
Y el Gatorade.
There's just something about the croqueta that just hits when you're
So
sick.
Good. It's so good. Tastes better even.
I agree.
With a little
Tell
bit
me
of
you're
like
Cuban
mojito.
without telling me you're Cuban.
All right. Well, here's another one. During Christmas or Thanksgiving, like, what's a food that cannot, like, not be at the table?
El puerco asado. Imagínate.
Oh, absolutely.
Straight out of la caja china.
Out of the caja china con arroz y frijoles. Don't forget
No,
that.
el arroz con gris.
That's
Con gris
amazing.
y yuca. I mean, at our house it was always black beans and
Really?
rice, but yours was con gris.
Yeah.
We can settle.
It's a mix.
It's okay. Yeah, it's a mix.
That's hilarious. I'm
What
over
about
here
you?
like, well, Venezuelans eat hallacas during Christmas time. That's the only time we eat it. It's like the Venezuelan tamale. Tamal. How do you say that? Tamal.
Yeah, tamal.
Tamal.
Yeah. I mean, some people say tamal.
Un tamal.
Un tamal,
Yeah, we
let's-
have, like,
let's just go Cuban style tamal.
What we call un plato navideño. So like a Christmas plate. And it's hallaca. Like, I don't know how to say that in English. I'm so sorry. And a salad, like a potato salad.
That's so well balanced.
A gallina salad. It's a chicken salad.
I have a question though.
Yeah.
¿Tamal o está bien?
For those of you that don't understand it, was that okay or was that not okay?
That was so bad. I just looked at you like,
Straight out of the 305. Here we are. All right, so guys, let's get into it. Food and relationship. Why would it be important for us to talk about our cultures and like the foods that show up?
well, I think because our culture, our family is kind of what introduces that relationship to begin with. So I think for everybody, it looks different.
Correct.
Sure.
I think how we are raised and like the family like cultures like shape like even like how we see food, like what foods we go to. Like I remember I went to like a Thanksgiving last year where they were offering casserole and I was like, I don't even know what that is. Like what is a casserole? What's that
casserole.
puerco? You know?
Un potaje.
Like what do you mean you're eating lentils?
Lentils? Never seen that.
So if you think about it, when you go back to the beginning, our first relationship with food is technically our parents because you're in your mom and you're basically eating whatever she's eating.
Oh, man.
And then you're born. Yeah, we're going way back.
We're going deep.
We're going deep. And then you go into, like, you come out of the womb and your mom is still your source of sustenance. And then you start trying out all of these different foods. And here comes your relationship with food.
Yeah.
Right? What do you guys remember when you were younger that you really liked, like food-wise? And how do you notice that your relationship with food changed throughout the years?
Well, my little self thrived off chicken McNuggets and cheese. Nothing has changed much except now I eat
She's
salad.
still eating chicken nuggets and cheese, in case you were wondering. It's still going on. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I'm trying to think back if there was something in particular. All that comes to mind is like cereal milk. That was my favorite thing to have for breakfast. I ate it every single day. But I pretty much ate everything. I don't remember. My brother was more of a pickier eater than I was.
I ate a lot of different foods, and I think it's because we lived in different places. But my mom would always cook also. So now you have certain plates that remind you of your mom. Like, I'm allergic to pork. I know, gasp. I'm Cuban and allergic to pork.
Tragic.
But I know how to cook my mom's pork, like, to a T. Like, I can do it, like, with heads closed. And I don't even try it because I can't eat it. But this relationship with food that starts early is not just cultural, but it's also tied to so many different things. Like, what things is it tied to? What do you guys think our relationship, or what do you guys know that our relationship with food is tied to?
Physical appearance, connection. Those are the main two that comes to mind. Like connection with others, because I think of food like meals at the table, and then body image. It's just like the amount of food you eat gets called out.
Yeah. And that's sad that the amount of food gets called out, that we start putting rules on food, like good foods versus bad foods, when there really is no bad food. It's just food. And they did a study a really long time ago where they put kids in a room with a whole bunch of food, and by the end of the day, the kids had met their nutritional needs. So there's something innate in us that we know when we're hungry, when we're full, what we should be eating, and how to get our nutritional needs met. But there's so much noise that starts happening that we like ignore those cues, right? Yeah. I mean, I think for me, my relationship with food started to get a little wonky when my mom put me on my first diet. And that was like around 10 years old, I would say. Yeah. And so she did it out of fear, which I understand now as an adult. Like, I understand she didn't want me to be fat. She was concerned because she was overweight, and I know that it came from a loving heart, but it started giving me so many messages about food and body. What about you guys?
No, I agree. The same. I guess to put it in perspective, also, like the Latin and Hispanic culture is very comfortable commenting on the body and physical appearance and linking that to whatever version of beauty that they have. And so it is, I do remember from like a young age comparing myself to my brother, because my brother was always like skinny and lanky, all skin and bones, and I was a little bit more fuller as a kid. And so there was always like these comments, like this like talk of just like, oh, my brother was the skinny one. It's just like, I wasn't even a big girl, like I was
At all.
small. But there was this idea, there was this narrative in my mind. That's how I viewed that. That's how I would tell the difference between my brother and I.
What about you, Leslie?
I mean, I think like when I think of growing up, like my grandparents, for some reason, like they always had something to say.
Oh, for sure.
But it was just depending on their mood that day. Like if that day they woke up and they're like, ay, pero tú estás más flaca hoy, I could be the same exact weight. Or like, no, pero tú has engordado. And I'm like, hello? I'm literally weighing the same amount. But and then if they felt like I wasn't eating enough, it was like, no, pero tienes que comerte plato entero. Like you have to eat the whole plate. Or on the contrary, like, no, estás comiendo mucho. So like it was never a good comment. Like it was always like either you're not eating enough or you're eating too much or you're skinny or you're fat. Like it was never like you're doing great, sweetie. No.
I had a similar experience, Leslie, at my grandmother's house. It was my grandmother and then her sisters all lived like in the same area. And I literally was working with a nutritionist at the time through my relationship with food. So it wasn't for weight loss, it wasn't for weight gain. It was just, I want to explore my relationship with food. And I would walk into my grandmother's house. Mind you, my weight did not shift for 4 years, documented by a nutritionist. And they would tell me, oh, you're too skinny. Oh, you're too fat. And it was always followed by, do you want flan? You want a croqueta? You want ham? And it's like, wait a second.
That doesn't make sense.
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
But this is exactly why this is such a good topic, especially like around the holidays, because this starts like a struggle in our relationship with food that I really believe was never supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's so many people that the holidays are a source of anxiety because Thanksgiving is coming up. We're going to have multiple meals with different family members. It's going to be a big spread. Then Christmas Eve, Christmas, New Year's, continuously. Like, I think everybody is mentality of the holidays like, okay, this is where I gain weight. I'm going to put my big pants on so I can eat to my fill.
But you know, it's so crazy because it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
Like, first, we're very blessed to live in the United States. Like, we have food available to us all the time.
Yeah, right.
Like, there's no reason why I can't have a turkey in September if I want, right? Or or anything, stuffing. If I love stuffing, like I could make stuffing any day. But for some reason, we make these comments like, oh, I have to put my big pants on. And it's like, really, like, why are you already planning that you're going to be uncomfortably full because it's a holiday? Like, what about just eating till you're full and enjoying like the people, the food? And yeah, maybe there's foods that we don't usually eat that are presented, but it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it has already become like ingrained, like it's a thing. Like especially Thanksgiving, like it's known for you to be uncomfortably full, and the next day you eat all of the leftovers. Like it's like a thing already.
Yeah.
Right. But I say let's try to be different because if I have a relaxed relationship with food, which is really the goal, is to have a relaxed relationship with food. Like in our office, we have snacks and we have a basket full of chocolates, and I can't tell how many clients will come in and just mention like, oh, if I had that whole basket, it would be gone. And I'm like, but why? Like, why does food have that power over you, right? Why do you guys think food starts having power over people?
I think it starts when we start like the like restriction, and then I have it, but I have to have it in excess cycle. Like I can't just eat one Oreo. If I eat an Oreo, I have to eat 6 Oreos. You know, so it's like this thing of like, no, but Monday through Friday, I'm not gonna have any of this. But then on the weekend, like I'm just gonna have a bunch of it. You know, like that restriction, but then binge cycle.
Right.
For sure.
I think when it starts replacing things that it shouldn't be replacing, like comfort. Sometimes we're not feeling good and we reach for sweets or we reach for something to make us feel better. When in reality, like, yes, food is to be enjoyed and it's a part of life and it's a delicious part of life, but it also shouldn't be your go-to thing to make yourself feel better. Yeah. We should have coping skills, you know, like other ways of making ourselves feel better that don't require going all in on sweets, going all in on just a big plate of food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is a point where it is okay. Like, if one day you're not having a good day and you're like, you know what, today I'm not having a good day, I really want
a little treat.
A little treat. That's what you like to say.
I love saying that. I love telling people, go get yourself a little treat.
Right.
You know, what do you like?
And that's okay. But it's if you're giving yourself a quote unquote little treat every single day, that then you're really using food for a purpose that it was never meant to be used for, right? You're using food to ultimately hurt yourself instead of help yourself. And many times there is emotional eating or even disordered eating, right? And what are the differences between emotional eating and disordered eating?
Right. I mean, emotional eating is more focused on I need to eat my feelings. So I'm feeling overwhelmed and I don't know how to handle feeling overwhelmed or anxious or upset or whatever. So I use food to just numb it. Okay. And then I view disordered eating as it's just kind of a mess. You don't eat because there's moments where you eat to balance out. Just, I ate too much, so now I'm not going to eat now. Or you don't eat enough during the day. Or
eventually you get to an eating disorder.
Great.
Right? And those are kind of like ways in which we use food for, again, purposes it wasn't intended to. One of the things I love is teaching people either the peace with food, like literally looking at your plate like it's a peace sign and making sure that it has all the components that we need to feed our bodies nutritionally, or eating the rainbow, right? Like, how many colors are represented on your plate? Because the more colors are represented on your plate, the more nutrients, the more micronutrients that we actually are ingesting in our bodies.
Not to be confused with a pack of Skittles.
At all. But if you want some Skittles, go ahead and
have at it.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think? Tell me about a time when you guys had some kind of like food that you noticed there was like an emotional tie to it.
What?
I know what you're gonna say.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
No, but the thing is, it's still on my website description, right? Because I love key lime pie.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go for coffee.
Oh, well, coffee too. But
go for it.
Coffee is like my coping skill, but that's okay. No, going against the grain.
This is what I use to get through the day.
No, but I think for me it was key lime pie, and for a very long time in my life, I was having key lime pie every day. But there was there had to always be a key lime pie in my fridge, and I realized it was because it was an emotional thing that I had to, like, it brought me comfort, and it was almost my way of like grieving certain things that I had lost in my life, and it was like it would just fulfill me, and so every day I would look forward to getting home and having key lime pie.
That is amazing. I did not know this about you.
Yeah.
I just thought she liked key lime pie. I didn't know key lime pie had a hold on
deeper
you.
level than that. But we do love key lime pie.
Yeah, but that's the cool thing about working out your relationship with a specific food. Because if you work your relationship out with a specific food, you don't have that like power struggle with it anymore.
Yeah.
But for me, it was cookies, and I know I told you this the
Yeah.
other day. But so when my mom passed away, and I was working with a nutritionist on my relationship with food, she noticed that every day I was eating cookies at night, and she looked at my food journal, and she was like, you know, what are these cookies about? I'm like, oh, I just like them. They're 100 calories. They're really little, which has to do with the diet mentality. But I was like, you know, it's like nothing. And she's like, well, Angie, what would happen if I took those cookies away? And I said, I'd punch you in the face.
Girl.
And it came from such a deep part of my soul that it confused me.
The nutritionist was like,
I know. I was like, I'm
okay
so sorry. I don't know where that came from. And as we started to explore my relationship with that food, what we came up with and what was eventually revealed was that my mom would have those cookies every single night. So much like what you were saying about grieving, I was grieving in the way that I wanted to be close to my mom, and the way I could do it was having those cookies. Yeah. And then the byproduct of it was, because I have a lot of insulin resistance, I would eat the cookies and I would knock out. So it served like an anesthetic effect also.
No
and
kidding.
so
Marianne's like, wow, fascinating.
I'm learning so much today.
And so that's why, like, working through if there is a food that you feel like you can't live without is so important, because there's something else that's underlying that, right?
Yeah. It's interesting. I think like when I came to realize, because I went like long time just thinking like that was okay. Like I was like, that's just my little way of like keeping a balance. And it wasn't until one day I got home and my key lime pie had like gone bad, and I literally started crying. I started crying because I was like, wait a second. Oh, no. And then that's when, you know, we had to realize that there was stuff underneath that we had to process.
This is a good thing. One way to identify if you are emotionally attached to a certain food is if you're crying when it's gone.
Or you want to punch
somebody in the face.
Or when someone tries to take it away, you are physically aggressive.
Exactly. These are sure tale signs that maybe you should explore that relationship with food.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about another thing that people do with food. They make it like a moral thing. Like, I'm being good today.
Oh, yes.
How many times have you guys heard, I'm being good today, so I can't eat that?
Yeah.
Yes.
All the time.
So annoying.
Yeah.
Right?
And this putting us in categories, okay, like look at what that does to you mentally. It's conditioning you to believe that the only way for you to be good is if you maintain eating certain foods. And then so the moment that you're not eating those certain foods, you're automatically thinking I'm bad, I'm bad. So what does that do to you emotionally, mentally, physically?
Or you're comparing yourself. Like, why does she have the quote unquote willpower, which is another statement we could go into, to be able to stay away from those foods and I don't, right? Which also is a little bit ridiculous, you know, because you don't know what's going to happen when that person gets home after being around all this food, not allowing themselves to have it, and all of a sudden they're at their own house in their own privacy. You don't know if they go ham.
Pun intended, actually.
But it's true, you know, we really don't know. And it's not a moral thing, or I'm a clean eater, as if that makes you something better, you know?
Yeah.
And so a lot of times what I've noticed is that when people talk about their own issue with food, they try to make it somebody else's issue.
Yeah.
Like, ugh, I ate so much, I feel disgusting. I shouldn't have eaten that much mac and cheese, for example, right? Like, that says more about the person who's saying that comment than it does about anybody around them.
Yeah.
But sometimes it makes the people around them feel like, wait a second, I guess I shouldn't be eating that because now there's a value on that food. It's disgusting or it's gross and I shouldn't be eating that. When that's, again, not accurate.
Yeah.
And so it starts to create this kind of sad emotional experience. Like you start to attach food to shame, anxiety, worry, now nerves, just uncomfortable, sad.
And your identity, because I am good or I am bad, like that's directly tied to your identity. Why are we giving food that much power?
Absolutely. There's one more piece, because this is a faith podcast, that I wanted to kind of talk about in our relationship with food, right? Like, can we talk about fasting for a moment and how that is part of our Christian walk, like to be able to fast? But sometimes people take it on as like, again, because we're talking about moral, like they take it on like, I'm so good because I am only fasting water, right? Which is crazy because our body needs more than just water to function. Like if you are fasting for like 3 days, fine. But if you're fasting for like a month and you're only having water, that's just like causing all sorts of havoc in your body.
100%.
And I think it's interesting because we always like to defend people are going to come for you in that
Yes,
statement.
I
And it's
know.
just like, first of all, it's biblical. Jesus fasted for 40 days.
Right.
Okay. And it's like, yes, we know, you know, but we're trying to push it a little bit further. Like, okay, what are your intentions behind this fast? Because a lot of the times what we come across is, well, I'm holding this as a chip over my shoulder, a badge of honor. Like, look at me, I'm fasting water and I'm exercising at the same time and doing all these things while your body is kind of going through
Right.
a rough experience.
Starvation.
Correct.
Actually, starvation.
Yeah.
And then people will faint and, oh, I fainted. And it's seen, again, as morally like this amazing thing, which the truth is like, sure, fast, you know, but also take care of your body. Because I don't think the purpose of a fast is to, like, become emaciated and enter into an eating disorder, right? I don't think that that's the point of it either. And biblically, it kind of tells you to keep your fast to yourself and not share with everybody what you're doing. So going back to what you're saying, Marianne, and I know that it's controversial and I could talk about this for a very long time because of the population that we work with at times.
Right.
You know, I've seen fasts go quote unquote bad. And so I think the biggest thing is check your heart with Jesus, check your heart with the Holy Spirit. What is he asking you to give up? What is there a certain food? Like, to be completely transparent, like one of my biggest fasts is when I give up coffee, because coffee for me is something I love and something that, quite frankly, I need. It helps me think better. It sparks inside of me. Very different from what a matcha does or any other form of caffeine. Yeah. And so to me, that kind of fast is 10,000 times more meaningful than if I was to give up food altogether, you know, because I'm really giving up something that every morning I have to pray and ask God to help me throughout the day when I don't have it, you know, which at the end of the day, I think is the purpose of a fast, is to get you closer to God, to get more clarity with God, to listen to him more.
Yeah. And I think everybody has a different stance on this depending on where you land theologically. I think what we're getting at is the heart of the issue.
Yeah.
You know, the heart behind why you do things, which is what God's primary focus is on, you know, the posture of your heart. So we say this in that context.
Yeah. And please keep in mind that everybody's body needs something differently. Like, there is not one like black and white, hey, if you eat this or if you eat this way, like this is what your body's going to be great. Like, no, everybody's body is different. Yes. And I think that the disordered eating and like this unhealthy relationship with food, like especially in like the fitness community, is like very, and you hear all these messages on TikTok, like eat 3 pounds of your body weight in protein. Like, what if I cannot sustain that in my body? Like, what if that doesn't do well for my body? Or don't eat carbs, or only have 20% of fats. Like, there's all of these messages that can be so confusing. And I think, especially with the younger generation, they're so easily influenced. And like, okay, if I let me just do this, I'm going to look like that. You know, where I think the best thing is to really like intuitively listen to your body and like be attuned to when I eat this, how do I feel? Right? Like, when I eat this much, how do I feel? Like, really listening to your body is the most important thing.
That's such a great point, because in all of this food talk and relationship with food, there are certain foods that like we can't eat because they make us feel a certain way, and that's okay. You know, like for me, it's gluten. Like, and I will eat it every now and then because like I went to an amazing restaurant last week that flies their flour in from Italy. It's called Mother Wolf. Shout out! It's amazing. I like totally recommend. 10 out of 10. And for sure I was going to eat the pasta, and for sure I was going to eat the pizza. I wasn't going to not eat it, right? I mean, fortunately, I think just materials overseas are done differently than here. But on a large part, I try to eat as much gluten-free because when I do eat gluten, I feel physically sick. So it's not about like, oh, eat this way. Like what you're saying is absolutely true. Like we have to figure out what's right for our body.
Yeah.
And within that, realizing our body image is actually familial. It comes down from our family. So if you want to look like the model on TikTok, beware, because if your mom and your dad don't look like they did, it's not going to happen.
No. Genetics, baby.
So what do we do, guys? What do we do to help start repairing our relationship with food?
I would say, well, first step is just take inventory. Like, where do you stand? Like, what is your relationship with food? When you ask yourself that question, what comes to mind? You know, are there fears? Are there worries, anxieties? You know, is it comfort? Is it an emotional experience to eat? Start there with the first question.
Yeah. Building off of what Marianne just said, I think taking inventory of like, what are the foods you don't give yourself permission to eat? Like those are the foods that probably have some power over you or tied to like some negative cognitions or negative beliefs. So taking inventory of like, the more that you normalize food, the less power they have over you.
Yep.
Yeah, and even taking it a step further, Leslie is like maybe doing some exposures with those foods and just journaling, like what's coming up for you? Why are you eating this way? I also think if you're struggling with emotional eating, or if you want to learn more about emotional eating, there's a book called When Food is Love by Janine Roth, which is a phenomenal book. It's really, really great. It takes more of a binge eating side, but the emotional eating side is very understood within this book. And I also think that mindful eating, which is what we try to teach people, is really important. So how hungry are you and how full are you after a meal, right? How hungry are you before the meal? How full are you after a meal?
Yeah, that's good.
We also have in our resource tab, there's meal support mats, mats. And you can download those and you can use those. It kind of starts helping you understand like what's coming up for me during meals. It helps you understand the hunger and fullness scale, which is starting to eat when you're hungry and ending when you're full. And this includes a holiday. Like, please have breakfast on Christmas morning. Please have lunch on Christmas Day. Please have dinner on Christmas Day. Like, it shouldn't be any different from anything that you do any other day. You know, our bodies are pretty amazing. You know?
I agree. Yep.
And if you feel any guilt or if you're really struggling with food issues, hey, find a therapist that can help you work through that or a nutritionist that can help you work through that.
Absolutely.
So if you liked this episode,
Like, comment, subscribe.
And we'll see you next time at Eden's Table.
we hope this conversation helped. And we can't wait to sit with you again.
Bye, friends.
Right. Bye.
Bye.
Well, friends, thank you for tuning in, and remember, freedom is possible. Join us next time at Eden's Table, where you can always sit with us.